Now this year I started making YouTube videos, and one thing I noticed was that it made people around me try video making as well. This means either one of two things. Either that my content inspired them so much that they wanted to make their own video, or they thought that if this bastard can make a video, that means I can do it too. Now hopefully it's the formal explanation. Anyway, on this very first episode of the Unrealistically True guide, I will be guiding you through how to make a video game content on YouTube. Now, first thing we have to talk about is what equipment do we need. And this is a time that I really want to address the misconception that you need a top-of-the-line computer with the high-end hardware for the video editing, which might be the case if you're doing a hardcore professional CGI. But it's not really the case if you're doing a low-hanging fruit that is a planet-sighted YouTube videos. It's not really the case, It's more like this case you need. Moving on to softwares, first thing you need is a video capture software so you can record your gameplay. And I found that the best ones are the ones that are offered by your GPU manufacturers, as they tend to have the least impact on your performance. And these are, if you have NVIDIA GPU, GeForce Shadowplay, and if you have AMD GPU at Rendering Edition, and if you are using Intel HD graphics, you probably have to resort to your 8-dedic memory. Next thing you need is an editing software so you can edit your recorded clips. And again, this is also the case where you probably won't need an expensive top-of-the-line ones. In fact, I had been using an indie software that was made more than 2 decades ago. But there are many other softwares that are free, and in this video, I'll be using one of them, DaVinci Resolve 18, to walk you through in this video tutorial. And now the last, but the most important thing you need for the video making is a vision. It is extremely crucial that you have this vision, a central theme at which your video revolves around. And this might sound very intimidating, but I assure you, it's not as difficult as I'm making it to be. For example, you can start asking, what does you and your audience have in common? You both have an internet access. So what is the most popular website that people access? And here you go. Now you have your vision. Now for this tutorial, my vision is this. Which brings me to the first rule of the video making, that your video idea doesn't have to be truthful at all. Now that we have everything we need, it is time to start recording your gameplay. And to do this is very easy. You can simply start up your recording software and then hit record, which on GeForce Shadowplay is right there. But one of the easier way to record gameplay is to use instant replay feature, which is available on both softwares. With this feature, you can just play normally, and whenever something video worthy happens, you can just save that moment by pressing the hotkey. So you never miss out on recording a once-in-lifetime moment, such as this dumbass NSO walking up to already spotted mines like a stupid robot he is, or this Max being run over by a friendly harasser. I hit record button so the entire internet can watch this take place. So basically you can use instant replay for the most part, but then use regular recording when it's staged with paid actors. Do you know why you always should buy a big computer case? So you can fit everything, just in case.
Okay.
On the unrelated note, you will also see that both softwares has a streaming button that lets you live stream your gameplay. But I personally don't recommend doing this because succeeding on a live streaming requires to have either a pretty face or a cleavage. And this is when I realized that I am currently recording a recording software that is recording a gameplay. which is kind of weird if you think about it. Just like recording of myself, recording a recording software, recording a screen, or recording of my guardian angel, recording me, recording software, recording a screen. Okay, let's say that you have gathered enough footage to fill up your video. And now it's time to start editing. And the first step of editing is organizing clips and selecting which parts to use. In this tutorial, I'm using the DaVinci Resolve, which has a built-in workspace, so I can dump all my clips and cut off all the unnecessary parts in each clip. And you might be asking, which parts are the unnecessary parts? And the answer is all the parts where I die. You only want to leave all the parts where I get a kill, so everybody will think I am flawless at this game. Because do you really think Chino would die to full damage like a noob? Do you really think he can get a kill with a commissioner? And do you really think he visits Planet-side Fury page while waiting to respawn? No. Never. So you want to get rid of all the clips where I die and only leave the clips where I get a kill. Now, while editing a video, you can also go back to your high school speech class and revisit some of the basics of the public presentation, so you don't accidentally fill up your entire screen with a brick of sentence or use a mismatching font and background color as to hypnotize your audience. You can also use something like graphs to put your point across, but unlike real-life usage, graphs on YouTube doesn't need to be truthful. So you can always pull up completely irrelevant data and pass it off as if it means something meaningful. So I got my introductory section ready and I got all my clips to make a montage. Now I want the music on it. For this, you can easily find a copyright-free music from a site such as YouTube's own audio library, and then you need to synchronize, which what I usually do is to cut up clips to the same size of the music's measure or phrase, so it transitions together. But you might be asking, what if I'm using high-tempo music where I need more drastic synchronization? And it's easy. You just have to use techniques such as adding a flickering effect to force it to synchronize with the music's beat. And raise all parameters all the way up to really accentuate the energy of the music. Now once you have finished the overall edit, you can open up an audio mixer and mix the sound, so you can keep sound level consistent and balanced. Like in here, you can see a huge spike on audio. This is because a paranormal noise got into recording for some reason. So you want to make sure to bring it down so it doesn't destroy your audience's ears. And now that I completed editing and exported the project file into a video file, it is time to upload it into YouTube. The one challenge you might face at this point is creating a thumbnail, which might be an intimidating task. But don't be scared. For this, you just have to ask yourself, what would you want to click, What thumbnail, if you see on YouTube page, would really make you want to click? And there you go. And now your video is on YouTube. And of course, the very last step of video making is to go watch an actual guide on how to make a video.